How are you ding-dong diddly doing there, gamerinos? Hope you're having a flanderific day. So I had to respond to some things, so it ended up taking a while for me to, like, get back to streaming, after SFC, so we're just gonna go ahead and finish up here. We're almost done. I've almost got all of these oxidized, which is exciting. Something I wanted to talk about, the thing I was responding to, and this is well, there's two things I want to talk to that I responded to. But the first thing is amazing. First of all, this dude is a total idiot. Total idiot. He was trying to tell me, he said, quote, "Not all illegals have entered the country illegally." I'm sorry, roll the tape back. What the fuck do you just say? Not all illegals came here illegally. Like, I'm sorry, that's a I actually got to get the sound bite for it. It's so bad. This is literally. Oh wait. Oh, whoops. Here we go.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Like that's what we're talking. That is what we are talking there. Like, I don't know how those words could, like, could form together in your head, and you're like, yeah, I gotta post this. I'll sound really smart saying this. Oh, man. But then he went and tried telling me that, okay, well, fine, not everyone who overstays their visa is here, hasn't committed a crime. That's not committing a crime. And then I went and I pulled up U.S. Code 1182, I think it was. And it very, in black and white, says that, yes, that is illegal. But then he tried telling me that, illegals have constitutional rights and protections. So I told him that is not true. If they did have constitutional rights and protections, can you explain to me why the 14th Amendment was a thing? Because I can tell you why the 14th Amendment was a thing. So after the slaves were freed, they technically were not considered to be U.S. citizens, so they didn't get constitutional protections, which they absolutely deserved. So they passed the 14th Amendment, saying that if you were born in the United States, that makes you a citizen. That's where we get birthright citizenship from. And it was to ensure that the free slaves were considered citizens, therefore getting constitutional protections. So it's like, okay, if you're right, and illegals get constitutional protections, can you explain to me why the 14th Amendment was a thing? It would seem pretty redundant, pretty worthless. But that's the thing. They read it, but they don't know the historical context behind it. It's probably one of those people who are like, oh, history is a stupid class, why are we learning this? It's so that you don't sound like a fucking idiot later. Like, that's literally it. So he went and responded to me, and I was quite flattered. Like, it may be one of the nicest responses I've ever got. He said something blatantly wrong, like, the Supreme Court has ruled against it, which no, they haven't. And that there's lots of precedent, and it's like, no, there's not. And then he goes, you need to quit parroting Stephen Miller, and I was like, oh, you thought my argument was so good it came from Stephen Miller? Oh, wow, my heart. Like, I didn't know that you thought I sounded that smart. Like, holy shit. You thought it came from Stephen Miller? I sound that smart? Damn. Like, greatest compliment. One of the greatest compliments I have ever gotten. Like, wow. And he meant it as an insult. Like, wow. Thank you. So I even told him that. I was like, wow, I am so flattered that you would think that Stephen Miller said that. Because he didn't. That was me. I said that. But yeah. So that was one of the things I was responding to. That's the one that didn't take so long to respond to. Because again, all I had to do was just point to the U.S. code that says that staying past your visa is illegal, and then just saying like thank you for thinking that Stephen Miller came up with a thing that I said, that I came up with. Like, again, that is a great honor. But so there was this meme, and it said, "Don't worry, guys. One day you're gonna find someone." Or you know what? Let me find the meme so I can perfectly quote it. It's a pretty hilarious meme, by the way. It says, "Don't give up, boys. To all the single guys, don't give up. At some point, you'll find someone that's obsessed with you, wants all of your time. That person will be your manager at work." And this woman goes on and posts and is like, "Oh, well, women are lonely too." And, like, goes and, like, says, "Oh, yeah, you know, like, it took me a while to find my boyfriend," or whatever. So I responded to it. I was like, yeah, that's like saying that it's comparable to say that, like, or I was basically saying that that's like saying that, oh yeah, people getting murdered and people getting struck by lightning are comparable because they're both dying. You know, the joke being that, like, it's very rare to get struck by lightning, whereas it's not super rare to get murdered. So she responds, "I'm not comparing," and all of this, and I was like, and I responded to her, and I was like, when you say, yeah, but blank does too, that is comparing. That is absolutely comparing. And she went off on this tirade, which, I mean, I agreed with a lot of it. I gotta say, I agreed with a lot of the stuff that she said in her tirade. Talking about how Gen Z is the loneliest generation, and that basically America is having a birthing crisis, that is true, 100%. And basically saying that, you know, Christ can help you through loneliness, and it's like, yeah, that is true. That is true. But, and then she had a few things in there that, like, I did not agree with. Like, she was trying to say that, like, man, I don't even remember, but basically trying to downplay, like, and this is gonna sound wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway, like, women's culpability in the male loneliness epidemic. So yeah, I was just like, you do know It's like, you do know that one of the main reasons that both men and women are lonely is because of cancerous, toxic feminism, right? Like the feminism that tells you that you don't need no man, and that all men are evil, and that you'd be happier without one, and like all of this shit. It's like, you don't think that that has anything to do with it. Okay. And then I was like, and also, I just want to point out that there are more men than women in America. Oh no. There's a zombie here somewhere. What the fuck? They sound like right in my ear. Oh, here we go. We found them. How did this not get filled in? I'm filling that in immediately. Sorry. Very distracted because of this fucking gaping hole. I would have done this. I can't believe I didn't fill this in. Like, that's just crazy. Craziness. But yeah, no, I was like, so you do know, obviously, statistically speaking, there are more men than women in America. And every time that a girl becomes an OnlyFans girl, that is one less woman off the menu. Alright? And that is something that, like, we're promoting. You know, or we're saying like, oh, that's an empowered female and some stupid shit. But it's like, yeah, you know that's encouraging the problem. Because at some point, obviously that makes men lonely in the short term, but it also makes women lonely in the long term that are these OnlyFans girls. Because again, who is gonna want that? Not me. Not any, like, normal dude. Maybe, like, some really beaten down simp might want that, but I couldn't understand why. And I was like, and I will admit that men are, like, perpetuating the OnlyFans girl. That is true. But you also can't feel you can't be too angry at those dudes, because like I said, they're probably just beaten down simps that have been Okay, sorry, I thought I heard a zombie again. I was like, where? But yeah, they're just beaten down simps that have probably been ignored and humiliated by women their entire life. So they're looking for an easy way out, basically, of like loneliness, and that is paying an OnlyFans girl. So it's like, I mean, are they simps? Yes. Do they irritate me? Yes. Do I entirely fault them, or do I entirely blame them for being that way? No. I don't. But yeah. I go and I bring that up, and it's like, on top of it, oh, and of course she tried denying again that that's like, oh, I wasn't trying to compare. And it's like, finally, because of course, just, you can't just say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. That's not what I meant. That would just be like the easy thing to do. But of course she's got to like fight me tooth and nail on it. Like, oh, no, I didn't mean that. How could you ever think that I meant that? So I was just like, you may not have meant it to be a comparison thing, but it definitely sounded that way. And based on the comments that you have gotten about it, because I wasn't the only person that had commented on it, other people had too. And I was like, based on the comments you are getting here, you're clearly not helping. Right? Like, clearly you have irritated a lot of men here. So you just need to, like, pick your words carefully. Because, and this is something else that I've mentioned, and it's a true statistic too, 2 men every minute kill themselves. And I was like, when you live in a society where men are only really judged, or I shouldn't say judged. Well, I mean, they are judged, which leads to this, but it's not the word I was looking for. Are only really, we'll say tolerated and accepted if they are providing something for someone. Yeah, that's a lot of stress, because again, if you do not match up to what society is telling you as a man, you're a loser, you're not a man. That's not me saying that, that's just what they say. So, again, just pick your words carefully. And I don't think that's something like this whole, like I was saying, the male loneliness epidemic. I don't think that's something that women grasp. Like, they probably are like, oh yeah, a lot of men are lonely, but like, I don't think they at all get exactly what's going on, like how deep it runs, how serious it is, which leads them to say shit like that. And also, I just want to point out that and I pointed this out to her too, for the declining birth rates in America, like, yes, there is something to be said for men failing to be men and women failing to be women, because she does at least admit that, and that's a very fair take. But that's also a lot to do with how the government has just butt-fucked us over the years. Like, you know how expensive houses are? Well, Slicks knows how expensive houses are. G knows how expensive houses are. So, I mean, there's that. And just like, having a family is expensive. Like, very, very, very expensive. Due in large part to the government butt fucking us through the years. So to say that it's just like men failing to be men and women failing to be women kind of ignores that issue, which is, again, I would say the primary issue there. I don't know. I'm interested to see how she'll respond to everything that I've said, because based on not what she said in the first or the second one, but the third one, the tirade she went on, there was a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff that I can agree on, at least to an extent. So I'm interested to see how she will respond to what I said. Because, yeah, no, she did get a lot of, like, dudes that were just like 99% of men don't give a shit anymore because of the garbage that women put men through. And it's like, you know, there's something to be said for that as well. There is something to be said for that as well. But I wouldn't say that it is entirely just women's fault. I mean, men definitely have some responsibility in that, in this horse race, I guess. I don't know what I was looking for. I don't know why I went with horse race. In this dilemma, I guess. Yeah, men have some culpability, but I would say it's not quite to the extent of the where women are at. And again, like I said, it's not even, I wouldn't say entirely their fault. It's a lot to do with the indoctrination that they've received from toxic feminism. And I always look at it this way, which is I think a funny way to look at it. You can find your 10 best friends that are guys, and none of them have a girlfriend, but you can encounter 20 random women, and all of them will have a boyfriend. So that's something else I want to throw out there. And I already hear all of the female apologists being like, oh, but it's the guys are only looking for a certain type of girl, and she's got to look like this, this, and this. It's like, man, I'm telling you right now that there's a lot of girls that look like that, and that. And it's like, keep them the fuck away from me. No, thank you. I don't want any of that. And there's plenty of girls that may not look like that, and that. And it's like, yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I'm down with that. And this is another thing I didn't even mention, because I knew she would have went sideways with it. She would not have enjoyed hearing this, but it's also the truth. With the rise of social media and dating apps and shit like that, it has definitely made women go, oh, I can do better. I can find better. Because they have more access to dudes that they would consider to be better than what is around them. Like, more money, more handsome, more whatever. Because of all of that access, like I said. Before, and this is something my boss and I talk about, before, they would have to, like, look around the town, right? And they would know, oh, this guy's a douchebag, blah, 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 I don't like this guy, whatever. And you would have, like, a handful of dudes, basically. And she could pick from the best one there. No real issues, no problems. But like I said, with dating apps and with social media and whatever, they can find whatever, wherever. So... And I know you're like, oh, but ultra men can do that too. And it's like, yeah, I know, you're right. But for the most part, men will just be happy if they get, most of what they're looking for. Because we're, like, realists. We're practical. Whereas women will see things as they wish they were. We see things for how they are. It's just, it's a way of thinking. And that does stand up to rigor, by the way. Like, you can absolutely test that theory I just said, that men see things for as they are, and women see things as how they could be. Like, a great example would be like a house or whatever, right? A man will be like, oh, this has got everything I need, it'll work. Whereas a woman might be more like, it would be nice if this house had X, Y, Z. A man might say that and then, like, go out and build it, But that would be like... Or I guess, you know what? This would be a good way to see it. I mean, I don't know. I guess the example I gave wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. I was just going to do, like, a variation on that example, but it's not necessary, I don't think. I think I've made my point. And also, I've said this a bunch before, not on the not on the show, but the show. I've never called this a show before. Never said it on stream before. Whatever, we'll go with the show. I like that. I've never said it on the show before, but I absolutely have said it to mainly those women that are like, oh, we need to take men to therapy or whatever. Therapy is shit. Absolute shit. Total waste of time. I know there's going to be a lot of people who would be like, that's insane, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, well, guess what? Therapy is insane. It's for insane people. Yeah, I'm not paying some quack who doesn't give a shit, first of all, to go and listen to me talk. And like I said, I spend a fuck ton of money on it. Like, are you crazy? Well, I mean, you'd have to be if you're in therapy. Total waste of time. And of course, they try pushing that shit because it's like, whatever. I don't know. But I always say, you know how far telling a man, thank you, I appreciate you, will go. It'll go pretty damn far. But they never want to hear that because, again, that's like, what? You gotta be appreciative and say thank you. What? Can't be done. You gotta go to therapy. Like that is literally what most men want right there. That cheat sheet for women right there. Just say thank you. I appreciate you. I think they even did a study on it, saying that like I appreciate you is like the same way. I don't know how you would measure this scientifically or whatever. I feel like there's a lot of science out there now that is just not science at all, but it sounds right, at least. I will give them that. It does at least sound right in this case. Telling a man, thank you, I appreciate you, is similar, makes a man feel similar to how a woman feels when you tell her I love you. So there you go. That's a little free nugget for you there. And I've always said that, like, besides therapy, or instead of therapy, just, enjoy your hobbies. Like, what a waste of time going into therapy. I can't even. I was listening to church. Might have been last week, because it wasn't this week. This week's sermon was actually really good. Last week's sermon was talking about basically therapy. They got a therapist and like a panel of therapist buddies, and they were talking about therapy in church. And it's like, it felt like one giant ad for therapy instead of talking about God. Made me so angry. I didn't even get through the entire thing. I was like, I'm turning this shit off. Like, I came here to learn about God, not hear from some quacks why I should go to fucking therapy. Like, it's just unbelievable. Or, honestly, this one just might be for me in particular. But, oh, you're right. That, I love, wait, why do I have extra rockets? Am I so stupid that I picked rockets instead of food? Yes, I am that stupid. Yeah, no, I love hearing that I was right. I'll admit it. I love hearing that. Love it, love it, love it. Honestly, that's probably part of the reason I enjoyed, this is a throwback to the beginning of the episode. That's probably why I enjoyed being told that I sound like my answer sounded like something Stephen Miller would say. Like, I can think of no one who is more right. Like, yeah, excluding, like, like Jesus and, like, all of the apostles and shit. Like, I mean, from a non-spiritual standpoint, I can think of no one who is more correct than like Stephen Miller. Oh, I mean, I guess Trump, but also Trump hired Stephen Miller, so I can't believe these are taking so long. Like, I thought that this was gonna go by super quick. Because all the other ones kind of oxidized real quick, so... And we're making a little bit of progress, at least on this roof. It's starting to come together. Unfortunately, I can't take them all down. Oh, there we go. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't, like, do what I did here with these, because then it would break the signs, and we're not replacing all of those signs. It's just not happening. And that would be far too annoying. So we're just going to have to wait for that to oxidize the good old-fashioned way. Oh, man. Holy shit. What am I gonna do with all of this? This is ridiculous. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh no. How about this one? Here we go. I can shove a lot in here. Winky face. Yeah, look at that. I also just recently realized that I gotta get mushrooms. I gotta go find a mushroom forest somewhere. Man, my allergies are killing me. You know, I hate to say it. I was really hoping this was gonna, like, be over with here soon, but it looks like we're not done here. So I guess I'm just gonna have to call it, which is unfortunate because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces left to, like, fully oxidize. But whatever, what are you gonna do? Thank you, nobody, for watching, and thank you to the YouTube crowd who's also not gonna watch this. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.